Yo, what's happening, guys? It's Cody, and tonight we got a special video for you. We are doing a solo playthrough of this classic and venerable game, Starfleet Battles, and you can see my very well-loved and well-used copy here. I've been playing a lot of games solo recently. I thought it'd be kind of cool. I've been playing especially Starfleet Battles the past week or so. I thought it'd be kind of cool to do a solo game of Starfleet Battles, not just one game, but I'm actually going to be doing a whole campaign, a solo campaign for you guys. So no opponent tonight, just me playing it. Maybe in the future we'll have an opponent. Those that have never played Starfleet Battles, this is not necessarily going to be a tutorial, but I will walk through some of the basics of the rules as we play. So over here on the table, you can see that we have our battle mat set out. And I do actually have miniatures for this game, and here's one right here, which should look familiar to any Star Trek fan. But I decided not to use miniatures, and instead we're going to be using these large size counters that come from Federation Commander. Federation Commander is the kind of light version of Starfleet Battles. Very good game, actually. And it would be the game I would actually recommend anybody new to the system to play. But yeah, that's what these counters come from. And the planets and the mat actually come from Starfleet Battles. The Starfleet Battles battle mat set or something like that. And I've never used this stuff. I just cut the planets out last night. And yeah, so this is our setup. And the situation is basically the USS Merrimack, a heavy Federation cruiser, has received a distress call from Elon 4, which is a scientific colony. There's not many colonists there. It's purely a scientific colony, and they have posts set up to look into deep space, to observe deep space and, all kinds of scientific instruments, that kind of thing. Now, the Klingons are launching a full-scale invasion into Federation territory, into this sector of Federation space, because they think it may be the most weakest part. And they believe this scientific colony is a listening post, a spy post, if you will. Unbeknownst to them, it's not. It's just a scientific viewing post, but they don't know that. And so they have launched preliminary raids into this sector. And this Klingon ship, which is a Klingon D7 cruiser, the, let's see, what did I name this ship? This is the IKS Defiler. It has basically been sent on this raid to secure this location, not to, alert the what they believe, to not alert the Federation to their larger scale invasion plans. So that's the scenario. Basically, the Federation ship has received this distress call, the USS Merrimack, commanded by Captain Sam T. Cooper, has entered the Elon system and has realized that, this is no mere Orion pirates. This is actually a Klingon ship that has taken this planet hostage, essentially. Their objective is to not destroy the Klingon ship. They get no victory points for destroying the Klingon ship. They get victory points for rescuing the colonists. There are 10 groups of colonists on the planet. Every group of colonists they beam aboard, they get 10 points. The Klingons' objective is to keep the Federation ship, the USS Merrimack, from rescuing the hostages, as well as dealing as much damage as they can. So that's the scenario, and that's the objectives for this first scenario in the campaign here. I do want to apologize for the glare if I haven't already, but unfortunately I have a light right above the table here and it is glaring right down on this mat, and I'm looking into other solutions for that in the future, so we'll see. I have some friends that are looking into other solutions for me. Alright, so let's go over here. So we have the Federation Heavy Cruiser and the Klingon D7 Battle Cruiser. The Federation Heavy Cruiser has the car refit, which gives it some rear phasers and additional shields. And the Klingon D7 has the B refit, which gives it upgraded upgraded drones. It does have upgraded drones as well as, let's see, what else? Oh, it gets additional shields there on these where the shaded boxes are. So those of you that don't know anything about Starfleet battles, like I said, this is not going to be a tutorial video as such, but I will give a general overview of how this game is played. So you can see the ship diagrams here, which are called the SSDs. They would look really familiar to anybody that's played like Battletech or anything. And basically the way the game is played is you have energy allocation forms here. Every turn you fill out your energy allocation, and every ship generates a certain amount of energy depending on how much energy they have available. Where can they draw that energy from? They can draw it from their warp engines, their reactors, which is APR, as well as impulse right here. And that's basically where they can draw energy from, and batteries, which has reserve energy that they can use during a turn. So before a turn starts, you have to allocate where you're going to spend your energy to, either to your weapons, movement, high energy turns, which we may or may not get into, damage control, reinforcing your shields, cloaking, that sort of thing. You have to distribute your energy before you move, and then the turn starts. And the turn is broken down into 32 subturns called impulses. And there are 32 impulses per turn. Depending on your speed, you go down each impulse, and it tells you when every ship moves, and you move that ship, one space essentially. So that's basically how the game works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get right into it, and hopefully you guys can, if you haven't played Starfleet Battles, you can kind of track about what I'm doing here as the game is going along. And like I said, this is not a tutorial game, so I'm not going to explain every rule and everything. Maybe I'll do that in a future video, but hopefully you guys get the general gist of what I'm doing. I'm going to fill out the energy forms here, and then we will start playing. So I'll see you guys at the beginning of turn 1. Alright, we're about to start the first turn. I just wanted to note that I did roll randomly for the Defiler, the Cleon ship, to see where it would be in orbit around the planet. I thought that would be only fair and cool to do because it's probably not fully prepared. But now it is, because it picks up the USS Merrimack on its scopes. And we're going to go over here to the energy sheets, and I'll show you guys what the energy distribution is. Well, first off, I want to talk strategy. So when I'm doing a solo game, usually what I do is I give each side a strategy in my mind of what they're going to do and try to stick to that strategy. So the Defiler strategy is going to be to try not to leave too far from the planet, try to get between these two moons, and try to intercept the Merrimack and do as much damage, but not move too far away from the planet. The Merrimack is going to try to, even though it's charging weapons for defensive, it's going to try to go around this small moon here and bypass the Defiler and go around this side of the planet, because it is anticipating that the Defiler, the Cleon ship, is going to try to intercept it. And it wants to fly by, make a pass, and then to transport as many colonists as it can and disengage off this sector. So let's go over to energy, and I'll show you what the energy distribution looks like. So this is for the Defiler. So total power, they have 30 warp engine power, 4 for impulse, and 4 reactor. That gives them a total power of 38. They have 3 batteries, and they are considered charged. You have to pay 1 for life support, 1 for fire control. Phaser capacitors you can charge up, and they go from turn to turn if you don't use them, and that determines the points you have available to use for phasers, and those cost 1 to fire usually. Heavy weapons cost a certain amount, and you have to charge them per turn to turn, and you can usually hold them depending on what the weapon is. Sometimes you have to pay extra, sometimes you don't. The Cleons have disruptors, and it has 4 disruptors. It charged up 2. It costs 2 to load a disruptor. It also overloaded both of its disruptors. So it loaded up 2 at overloaded for 8. Activate shields costs 2. General reinforcement is just general reinforcement to shields. So it buffered its shields a little bit, and you can reinforce specific areas of shields if you want, but it has general reinforcement. Energy for movement, that's how far it's going to move for the total turn. So it's moving 11. Used up all its energy, and that's it. Next up, we had the Merrimack. Merrimack has a total of 34 power to use with 4 batteries, paid for its life support, fire control, charged up 6 phasers. Well, it has 6 phaser power, and overloaded 2 of its photon torpedoes, activated shields, of course. For movement, it's going to be moving 16 this turn, and it used up all its energy. So we will, I will go through the turns, and I will probably just skip ahead. I might take some pictures or something every, quarter impulse or whatever. I'm not going to go through every, all 32 impulses. And then I'll stop and cut back to video when something exciting happens. So I will see you guys then. All right, so it's the end of turn 1. I did take some pictures there so you guys could get an idea of the movements that were going on. But this was the final movement here that happened. The Merrimack tried to slip around the planet for the Defiler to catch up with it, but unfortunately it looks like the Defiler is going to catch up with it. And at this point, both ships are going to take some offensive actions. So I will say firing in this game happens simultaneously, so any order that you do it in is fine. I'm going to reach over here for some dice, and we're going to resolve some fire. So first off, the Cleon battlecruiser, the Defiler, is going to fire its disruptors at the Merrimack here. So we're going to look at the table. It has two disruptors charged, overloaded, ready to go. We count the range, so we are 1, 2, 3. Go over here to the table for the disruptors. Range of 3 for a disruptor. Overloaded, I need a 4 or less to hit. So here we go. Let's see what we get. A 4 and a 1, so that's 2 hits with the overloaded disruptors. So we'll look here. A regular disruptor standard does 4 damage, but it's going to do 8 damage in this case. And we need to see what shield it's going to hit. So you draw from the center of the ship to its target ship, and it looks like it's going to hit this shield here. So 8 points of damage to that shield. So let's go over here to the Federation ship. That is going to be shield number 6. We should check. I don't think the Merrimack had any for reinforcement. No, it didn't. So it's going to take 8 damage to that shield. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Red alert. Battle stations. Next up, the Cleon cruiser is going to shoot some of its phasers at the Federation ship. I think, yes, it is. We are going to shoot. We're going to shoot all its forward phasers. It's phaser 2, so we know we're at a range of 3, so we're going to look at the phaser 2 table, range of 3. Now this works out a little bit differently. You don't roll to hit, you just roll to see how much damage you do, if anything. So a range of 3, we got 3 phasers, so the first 2, a 5 and a 5. We look at range of 3, rolled 5s, that's going to be 3 points of damage, so that's 6 so far. A 4 is going to be 3 more. So that's a total of 9 points of damage to the Merrimack so far on this one shield. So 9 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, it's time for the Federation cruiser to get some revenge. Trivial damage to the heavy cruiser, which is good. I think we do not have photons loaded yet. It takes 2 turns to load photons, but we will have them loaded next turn, which I don't know if it'll matter. So I think the Federation ship is just going to open up with whatever phasers it can open up with, which looks like it's going to be the forward phasers and the left phasers. So it's going to be 4 phaser 1s at the Cleon ship, and this will hit its forward facing shield. So we're going to go to the phaser 1 table here, offensive phasers. We know a range of 3. Rolled a 1 and a 3. Range of 3 is going to be 1 is 6, 3 is 4, so that's 10 so far. Oh, same thing, so that's 20 points of damage, pretty good. I don't think it's going to crack the Cleon shield though, so here we go. And the Cleon ship does have reinforcement actually, so 20 points of damage. General reinforcement was 6. So for every point of general reinforcement, it will take away, for every 2 points, we'll take away 1. So that'll be 3, so it's only 17 points of damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So neither side is taking any internal damage right now. Pretty superficial shield damage. And I'm going to fill out energy allocation, and we will see you guys at the beginning of turn 2. Alright, energy allocation done. This is the positions beginning at turn 2, as you guys saw in the previous video. And here is energy allocation, and this is for the Defiler. So it has taken no damage to its power structures, its warp engines or impulse reactors. So it still has 38 power, still has 3 batteries. You got to always pay for life support, fire control. Recharge some of its phasers since it shot some last turn. This time it overloaded and charged up all of its disruptor banks. Activated shields, of course. No general reinforcement because it suspects it's going to be on the tail of the Merrimack. It allocated 13 energy for movement, and that is it. For the Merrimack, it has taken no damage to its power sources either, so it still has 34 power. 1 for life support, 1 for fire control, of course. Continued charging up its photons and overloaded them again with 2 more energy, so a total of 8. They are ready to go if it gets a chance to fire them, which we'll see if it does or not. But just in case, it has some photon torpedoes ready and overloaded. Shields are activated, of course. Put 6 points in for reinforcement of shields. 16 for movement, because its plan is it wants to zoom past the Defiler, and its plan is it's going to orbit around the planet and try to pick up as many colonists as it can. And in doing that, it also charged up its transporters. So it has 3 transporters and put 3 energy in for that. And it used its battery power for that. And yeah, it did not charge up any of its phaser banks, but it still has 2 charged. So that's beginning of turn 2. I'll catch you guys when something interesting happens. See you then. Alright, we are back pretty quickly. We're only in the second impulse of this turn, and already the Merrimack has decided it's going to let loose its photon torpedoes while it still is in firing arc here, which is barely in firing arc, but it is. And the Defiler is going to let loose its disruptors as well, try to get past that shield that it already weakened last turn. So we'll start with the Federation ship. I guess maybe it'll fire its phasers too. No, it's going to hold off on the phasers. So photon torpedoes, we are 1, 2 away. We go to the photon chart here, photon torpedo chart, range of 2. They are overloaded, so I need a 1 to 5 to hit. So here we go. 1 hit, 1 miss. Overloaded. I think it's going to do, yeah, double damage, so 16 points of damage to the forward Cleon shield. So let us get a pencil here. Ugh. Forward shield, the Cleons, they did not do any general reinforcements. So that is, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and it's going to take 3 internals. And I'll roll up those internals when I turn off the camera, and I'll show you guys next time we have some action here what the internals are going to be, because that takes a few minutes to do. I'm not going to do it. Well, yeah, we'll wait on that. Yeah, so the Defiler, it's got 4 overloaded disruptors coming at the Merrimack here, trying to get past that shield. So 4 disruptors, range of 2. Overloaded, need a 1 to 5 to hit. So here we go. 2 hit, all 4 hit. So that's going to be 24 points of damage, I believe. Yes, 24 points of damage. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. It can't fire 2 of those disruptors, so it'll only be firing 2 of them because it has to wait a quarter of an impulse to fire the other ones. So it'll fire 2 disruptors this time. 2, count them. So that'll be 16 points of damage, and that is going to be, I think, to the same shield that was hit last time, yes. But the Merrimack does have some general reinforcement, I believe. Let's see. Yes, it has 6. So 16, that'll be 13 points of damage. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that means 6 will carry over to internals, and I'll show you guys those internals when I can resolve them, and I'll show you what happened next time I turn the camera on. So there we go. We had a little bit of action really early in the turn, and I'll catch you guys in a little bit when something cool happens. See you then. Alright, so we are at the end of turn 2. No more combat happened. As you can see from the pictures over here, the Cleon ship had to turn around. Now you have to, depending on your speed, you have to move a certain amount of forward distance before you could turn. And the Merrimack managed to make its way around the planet and slip past the Cleon before it could get any more good shots off. Also, as the Merrimack was passing around Elon 4 here, it managed to transport aboard 3 groups of colonists. So it has achieved part of its objective and slipped around the other side. And it seems to be slipping around the other side, and maybe this turn it could get some more and then disengage off the map. And that'll probably be the scenario, but we're going to still play it out to see. Maybe the Cleon can stop the Merrimack before they manage to save the colonists. So I'm going to get back to energy allocation, and we will see you guys at the beginning of turn 3. Alright, here we are, beginning of turn 3. I just got done with energy allocation, so the Defiler didn't take any damage to... Oh, well, let me show you the damage. We didn't go over the damage. So the Federation cruiser definitely took damage at the beginning of last turn. Its number 6 shield is completely shut down. Took some damage to the front hull. One of its impulse engines are damaged. One of his tractor beams are down. Took some hull damage and also took some warp damage to one of its warp engines. The Defiler took a little bit of damage. 1 point of damage to its reactor. Its number 1 shield is completely gone. And lost a shuttle and a little bit of rear hull damage. And that is it. So let's go to the energy allocation. So for the Defiler... The Defiler has all of its energy still left, all its batteries left. Had to pay for life support and all that stuff. Of course, charged up some of its phasers. Charged up 2 of its disruptors that it did not use last turn. Activated shields, of course. For movement, it has 19 this turn, so it's going to be moving rather quick. It's going to try to catch up and get as close as it can to the Merrimack and deal as much damage as it can before the Merrimack can complete its mission. It also put some energy in for a high energy turn, which I'm suspecting in this tight of corner that we're going to fly by. And the Defiler is predicting that it's going to have to do a quick turnaround. Now, a high energy turn is basically you can pay 5 energy for that, and you can flip around in any hex direction you want. Now, I think we'll have to look it up in the rules, but I think it's after the first one you have to roll for a breakdown and bad shit can happen. But the first time, I don't think there's any chance of that, but I'll look it up. So anyways, that is what the Defiler is doing. The Merrimack, it did take some damage, so it only has 28 warp power, 3 impulse power now, which leaves it a total of 31 out of its previous 34. Battery power, it actually discharged its battery power last turn. Life support, fire control, of course. Didn't charge up any weapons because it's not trying to engage. It's just trying to do its mission. Oh, you know what? I messed up here. So we're going to redo this a little bit because we need to do this differently. So we're going to take 3 points away from general reinforcement. We'll take 2 points away from general reinforcement to make that 8. Nice round number. And 1 point away from movement. So there we go. Movement is 16. Because we need to charge up the transporters again. I forgot about that because that's our objective. So it's going to charge up the transporters again, which it will be able to right off the bat use because it used it pretty early in the last turn. So there we go. That's the energy allocation, and I will see you guys when something good happens. See you then. Alright, we are in impulse number 19 of turn 3, and this is the positions right now. The Merrimack did, as it was coming around the planet Elon 4, it managed to pick up 3 more groups of colonists, and the captain is calling it a day and starting to bug out of here because he's afraid more Cleon ships might be showing up in the system. So far, he's calling it mission accomplished and trying to get out of here. In the meanwhile, the Cleon ship, the Defiler, the D7, is in pursuit and is about to open up with everything she's got on the backside of this Federation heavy cruiser. So we're about to resolve some combat here, so let's do that. Let me get my sheets here. So the Federation cruiser, first off, is going to open up with 2 overloaded photons, I believe. Or 3, sorry, not photons, disruptors. So range, let's check range here. We are at 1, 2, 3. Go over here, the disruptor table 3. We need 4 less to hit, so here we go. Ooh, both miss. 1 more, 1 hit. So it's going to be 8 points of damage to the rear shield. We also got some phaser shots. We're going to shoot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 phaser 2s at range 3. So here's that. So 6 and 4. 6 is going to be 3. 4 is going to be 3. So that's 6 so far. 9. 12. And 1 more. Is going to be 16 plus 8 is 24 points of damage to the rear shield of the Federation ship. It does not have any general reinforcement, so it's going to be taking quite a bit of damage. So let's see here. 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That will close down the shield, but no internals thus far. So yeah, that kind of sucks for the Federation ship. And I guess while we're at it, I think the Federation ship should retaliate, and that's what we're going to do. So it has 2 rear phaser 1s because it has the car refit. So offensive table, we are range 3, so let's go ahead and roll those. 4 and a 3 is going to be 4 plus 4, that's 8 points of damage to the forward shield, which the Cleon shield is shut down, so it is going to take 8 internals, and we will get back to you, and I'll show you what damage the Cleon ship is going to take. We'll do energy allocation and all that, but actually I'm probably going to finish this turn and call it a day because I think the Cleon ship is probably not going to pursue, and the Federation ship's probably going to use everything it's got. So I'm going to finish this turn and see where we're at, but I think we're going to call it we're probably going to call it a day there. We'll see, though. So I'll catch you guys at the end of this turn. We'll see where we're at. All right, game on. We're going to play, this will probably be the last turn, I assume. So here's positions at the end of turn 4. And we went ahead and did energy allocation. Now, the Cleon battlecruiser did take some damage from that last shot there. You could see it took some warp damage, some impulse damage. I think it took some more hull damage, or 1 hull damage, and that's about it. Just kind of scattered around, didn't do anything serious yet. So energy allocation for the Defiler. We did take some energy damage there, so we only have 34 energy out of 38 usually available. We charged up the phaser capacitors. We overloaded 2 more disruptors. Now, I put the same ones, but it doesn't really matter. Charged up 2, activated the shields, of course, and it has 17 for movement. The Merrimack is going to try something tricky. Basically, I'm imagining the Merrimack is trying to make the Defiler think it's withdrawing, when in fact it's going to do something really sneaky. Yes, I paid for a high energy turn, and it's going to try to flip around and get back to the planet and save as many more of the colonists as it can. So, didn't take any more damage last turn, I don't think, so paid for its usual things, life support, blah, blah, blah. Charged up 2 of its phasers, did not charge up any photons because it's not going to have time to get those fully charged. Shields are up. Energy for movement, 17, same as the Defiler, paid for its high energy turn, and of course put 3 power into transporters. So I will do turn 4, and I'll get back to you guys when something interesting happens. See you then. Alright, turn 4, we're only on the second impulse, and already we had some interesting developments. So the Merrimack did its high energy turn, right off the bat, flipped around, and the Defiler moved up, and now they are in the same hex. They do not collide because hexes represent very large amounts of space. But we are going to have some firing going on, and both ships are going to open up everything they got to the opposing ship's forward shields. So we'll start with the Federation cruiser. I think it has all its phasers charged up, or enough to do what it wants to do here. So we're going to fire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which it does have that in its phaser capacity. 6 phaser 1s into the forward shield of the Defiler, which it's, if you remember, those forward shields were collapsed earlier in the game. So 6 phaser 1s, let's do it. Range 0 now. 1 and a 4. So it's 9, 15. 22, 27, and 2 more. Ooh. So that's 34. 42 points of damage. Ooh, my goodness. Okay, that's going to be pretty devastating. Meanwhile, the Cleon, because firing is simultaneous, is going to open up with everything it's got. I'm going to mark this down. So we got 42. There's no general reinforcement there, so it's going to be all internals, and it's going to be pretty nasty. I think the Cleon battlecruiser is going to be pretty crippled after this, but we'll see. Might be the other way around. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or nope, just 4. Yeah, just 4 phaser 2s. Range 0. Alright, let's do it. 2 and a 4. It's going to be 6, 11, 4 and a 3, 16, and plus 6. That's going to be, what did I say, 16? So it's 22 points of damage to the forward shield. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Does not collapse the shield. Meanwhile, the Cleon Defiler here, the D7, took 42 points of internal damage. Now, I'm going to go ahead and look at that and do that damage, and that'll probably be the game right there, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll get back to you guys after I do the damage on the Cleon battlecruiser. Alright, so I didn't do all these, but I can already tell that this Cleon D7 is going to be severely crippled. And I'm just going to call the game there and say the Merrimack probably is going to have enough advantage to swoop around Elon for one more time at least and rescue most of the colonists, if not all of them. It's going to at least get 3 more. So I think we could call this a resounding victory for the Federation, right? And the Merrimack. And the D7, the Defiler, and Captain Yachal Dakarn is going to be seeking vengeance on Captain Sam T. Cooper in the Merrimack in future scenarios. So I hope you guys enjoyed this battle report of Starfleet battles. Let me know what you guys think. Now, I did miss a couple things. I might have got a couple things wrong because it's been a long time since I played this. But overall, I've been having fun playing Starfleet battles again. Let me know. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Make sure to like the video and all. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.